Hello, Otafest family! Podcasts are being recorded from home offices, and Otafest is still planning digital community content, even if we can't be together physically. We hope you're staying indoors where it's safe and maybe working on your creative projects in the meantime. I'm here with Jay and Angelo.
How's
I'm
everyone doing?
Angelo. Wait, no.
That was
Are you
me
guys-
speaking twice at the same time.
Huh. Are you guys okay?
No, I'm never
I'm
okay.
Jay. How's everybody
Uh,
doing today? From Jay Wong.
I don't sound like that. Nice try, though.
I'm Jay Wong, and I sound precisely like this.
I really would hope not. I'm doing pretty well.
I'm
Jay?
doing well enough.
Yes, Nancy.
So, Jay, recently on Twitter, you were talking about considering doing a foot peel.
I have done the foot peel.
Oh,
I
you
am
did
in the
the foot
peel.
process of the foot peeling.
Oh.
Well, that's not
Would you
true.
like to tell me? Would you like to
That's
tell
not
me
true.
what kind of products were recommended to you and which one you eventually ended up doing and how that's going?
I got a couple of
Asking for a
suggestions,
friend.
but all it really mattered was that it came from Korea, and apparently they all come from Korea, so that wasn't really useful. So I ended up just going to a Shoppers, and they have a few options there. I so for the record, the reason why I'm doing this is I figured I have 1 week right now before my next work shift, and I tend to be on my feet for my work shifts, which is why like my feet are like I'm not proud of it, but I mean like my feet are calloused and stuff because I work on my feet a lot. Hopefully in the future that won't have to be the case anymore, but I was like, I'm gonna take this opportunity to do a foot peel and maybe get rid of my calluses and sort of have soft baby feet. That's what I'm looking forward to. So
Ooh.
I did 2 steps. I know nothing about aesthetics or skincare stuff other than like hand lotion every now and then and all that kind of stuff. But so this is like the farthest I've ever gotten, and especially on my own with this kind of thing. I got like my first booty thing, like because you put your feet in these little plastic boots filled with like solution. The first one was like actually just a lotion one, just to like
Mhm.
kind of I wanted to like soften it up and hopefully have the second one work really well. And then the second set of boots were an actual exfoliating foot peel mask product, where again you put your feet in these boots and those ones last. You're supposed to do that for about an hour and a half, which I did,
Wow.
and I actually just finished that about half an hour ago. My feet feel really weird, like sort of in between like I soaking them in a pool for like a couple of hours, so like you feel that sort of pruny feel, which is
Yeah.
not a great feeling. And then, but
Uh-huh.
not because you put it in a pool. It feels like I put it in vinegar or something, where like I feel like it's pickled. Like the I don't really want to.
Pickled.
Yeah, I don't really want to touch my feet right now. Nothing's gonna happen for the next couple of days, but I
Yeah.
think in the third, fourth, fifth days is when the
It starts to happen.
Yeah.
my true
Yeah.
feet will emerge from the cocoon of my old feet,
Like-
and
So-
we'll see what happens.
Dio's done this before. The
Yeah.
first
I've-
couple of days, it's super like nothing happens.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then it's like your entire foot is just erupting from the exoskeleton, like a snake or a tarantula or something shedding its skin.
Like I'm not gonna lie. Like I mean, I don't know. Like apparently this doesn't happen to everybody, but there are times where my foot peels like sort of naturally. But
Mhm.
like, and I'm
That's
sorry if
normal.
I'm grossing people out, but I'm just saying like, look, quarantine is still in effect. If you don't have anywhere to go, especially for like 7 days, might as well do a foot peel. Apparently they're amazing, and you get really soft feet. I'm looking forward to the end result.
Gamer boy
I just-
toe skin.
I just don't know when like it's gonna erupt from the cocoon, and I'm sort of
Well-
terrified.
It'll probably. So, my own experiences haven't been numerous. I've only done this probably twice. But yeah, like the first 2, 3 days, it just kind of feels like nothing's happening. And then,
My
yeah,
feet, my
like
my
at
feet feel squeaky. for the lack of a better.
Squeaky clean.
No, not
Squeaky
squeaky
clean.
clean. Like a sort of like there is something happening. This change. What could it be? Like I'm going to
Metamorphosis.
turn into a foot werewolf.
Oh my god,
No.
a foot werewolf?
I think that's the name of
But-
that's the name of this episode.
Foot
Episode
werewolves
27 or 28 or whatever it is.
stalking from the shadows.
Foot werewolf.
the foot werewolf.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
But yeah, those
Hunting
first few
your
days,
feet.
pretty normal.
Yeah,
Basically,
yeah.
it's like nothing happened, and
Okay.
it's recommended that you keep your feet moisturized like after you shower. So like if you normally have pretty dry skin on your feet, you're supposed to
Oh,
be
should I-
moisturizing your feet after
Oh.
you shower.
Well, I need to find my hand cream because I don't have any
Yeah,
other cream.
there you go. That'll work.
Oh no.
But they also highly recommend that if you want to be like less gross,
Mhm.
keep your socks on until you know it's starting, and then definitely don't take your socks off.
Oh no.
But then it just sounds like I'm just gonna ruin a great pair
Wear
of socks.
one pair of socks for a week.
Oh, it's not gonna ruin it. I mean, if you put it in your washer, it'll wash out, right?
But the one that I got is called OK. It was $10. It has Korean writing on it. It says watermelon and citrus foot peel.
Ooh.
Yeah,
If-
it smelled
if
okay.
you're
I
Getting
guess.
something that's supposed to make the skin fall off your feet, do you really want to go with just the okay stuff? I
Yes.
mean, really.
Because my feet are only okay.
Yeah,
You
but
guys
if it makes
just
your
reminded
skin fall
me-
off and it doesn't grow the new stuff.
Well, that's
You
okay.
guys just reminded me of a really silly story from like years and years ago when I first started driving.
Oh.
And
Oh, I thought you were gonna be like when I first peeled my feet.
the very first time
Uh-huh.
that ever happened. No, this is a huge tangent, but it's because you said specifically that line. They're only okay. But when I first started driving, my dad took me out to like parking lots to practice. Obviously,
As
he
you
wasn't going
do.
to put me on an actual road.
Yeah.
Yeah, as one does.
As you do. And so we're driving around in one of the like strip mall compound ones, like the ones where the parking lots feel kind of like a whole bunch of interconnected lots.
Okay.
And they're the standard locations for people with fruit carts to go and just like sell seasonal fruit.
Oh,
And
yeah.
like upon coming in to like the next chunk of parking lot, there's a sign. It's obviously handmade.
Right.
They tried really hard to make it look really nice, so it was
As
like
they
nice,
should.
but it was a small sign, and all it said was "Okay cherries."
Good.
And I was like, why would I only want okay cherries? Shouldn't you be using like your standard, fresh cherries?
Were they from
or like
Okanagan?
juicy cherries? Yes.
Okay.
That is exactly what it was.
Okay.
But like through my 17-year-old brain, I was like, why would I only want okay cherries? I would want fresh cherries, juicy cherries, sweet cherries,
Yeah, yeah.
not just okay cherries.
But maybe it's like a marketing
if the
ploy.
price
Maybe
is right, though.
No. You don't understand. It's a marketing ploy. What it is that they're amazing cherries, but they've set your expectations low.
Yeah, so that's funny because that's totally what I thought too. And then like I swear, years later, it just like hit me in the middle of the night. I was like, "Oh shit, it meant Okanagan. Okay
Those
for
cherries
Okanagan.
were-
Oh my god."
They were pretty fucking good.
And okay, they
well,
were
I mean,
pretty
like
good, I guess.
okay is also like Oklahoma's
Oklahoma.
yeah, state
true.
abbreviation. So, you know.
But thanks for reminding me of that really silly story
welcome.
from when I first started driving.
But yeah.
But yes, you're
So next episode is our season's end, and by then I will have results. I think about the
to
footiness.
discuss. I am eager to hear
Oh, yeah.
about your results. Considering it's your very first one ever, I'm very, very curious.
The one
What
thing
I'm
that
really. Oh, go ahead.
the one reason that I don't get it is, to my understanding, when the skin starts peeling, just like a sunburn, you're not supposed to peel it. You just have to let it be, let it just naturally flake off, and
Uh-huh.
not like tug at it or anything. And I'm a horrible person because I would just be compelled to start picking at it, trying to help it, being like, "Come to me, I
That
must
doesn't make
peel
you a horrible person.
and I must take off as much in one piece."
Yeah.
The worst part is, like, after it does start flaking, your first shower, you will be very compelled to be like, I'm just gonna, like, massage my toes a little bit. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
If some of it comes off, I mean, it'll be loose enough just because, I've been standing in this hot shower for a bit. Yep. Mm hmm.
Right.
Yep.
Mm hmm. Just gonna go and, oh my god, snakeskin.
I mean, if I could have an optimal choice in how this all goes, I would like to wear my old skin as a pair of skin boots. Temporarily, of course,
No.
but just like
Oh,
oh my
like it all can
God.
like the ideal is that it comes off all at once. You know what I mean? Like just like as a and I just
Like a.
yeah, and I just like peel it off like skin tight socks.
Man, in the anime Golden Kamui, there was
Oh.
totally a guy who would do that.
Oh.
Yeah, there was a guy who would kill people and then skin them and make clothing out of their skin.
Yeah.
It was a great
That
anime.
sounds like. That
It's a
sounds
great anime.
disturbing.
Speaking of anime, this is our anime preview episode for summer 2020. We will be getting to that in a little bit here. We just have other things that we want to finish up on,
Yeah.
topic-wise. One of the things was, well, Calgary is supposed to be opening up, well, today or yesterday, I guess, as of recording, and I have noticed more people out and about. Not like necessarily congregating, but definitely just like the weather's been nice. I live in the middle of downtown, so it's sort of very easily obvious that people are sort of enjoying the community. I don't know how I necessarily feel about it. The times that I've gone out so far still are just like I'm doing essential things like getting food and small things like that. Like I'm outside for less than half an hour per stretch. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna
Mhm.
miss the no traffic.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely an increase in both foot traffic and vehicle traffic along 17th. I've noticed that already. Uh, but Angelo, you are still in quarantine, potentially.
Yeah. So, last Thursday I was waking up after a night shift, so it was about 3 p.m. and I
Yeah.
was supposed to go into work at 8 p.m. that night. But
Mhm.
Dio, my girlfriend whom I live with, was
Your
And love
waifu,
very
I
much.
love
think.
very much. Yes, waifu for
Your
life.
waifu.
She was coughing up a lung and proceeding to do so about every 5 minutes or so. And I'm like, oh, this
Yeah.
isn't good.
That would be the no bueno.
Felt her forehead. She
Mhm.
had a pretty big fever.
Hmm.
Ooh.
And she had the sore throat. She had the headache. And I was like, well, that's everything.
Mhm.
We went onto the Alberta COVID website and did the self-assessment for her. And they were like, yeah, we're going to call you back and we're going to schedule a test for you. And so a test was scheduled for the next day. And I just messaged work and was like, hey, I can't come in.
And your boss was pretty
We might
good
have
about that, right?
He was like, it sucked. I was kind of throwing work under the bus about that.
Right.
This did happen to one of my last coworkers, SacroCon weekend. And so my
Hmm.
vacation at that point got postponed because of it.
Right.
As much as
What
you
goes
just
around
have to live
comes
with
around.
it, right?
It's
I
true.
feel bad because one of my other coworkers was taking vacation time this weekend.
Oh.
Oof.
It just
So it's like,
You give and you get.
yeah.
yeah.
So that happened.
But I mean,
And,
like, where are they going? You know?
So my boss
Nobody's
calls me up and
going
is like,
anywhere. They're just taking
"Oh, what
vacation.
rooms have you been? What did you touch in those rooms?" And it's like, "Well, I was in every room because that's my job. I touched all the locks in every room because that's also part of my job."
Yikes.
So they had to get all of that cleaned and sterilized. I don't know when exactly I'm going to be going back to work. We're still waiting on results. This is 4 days later
Right.
now. We
Right.
should get results soon, very soon.
Did because actually you and Dio are the first people I know like firsthand that have possibly gotten into close contact with with a COVID infection potentially.
Yes.
Um, I was just wondering, did they ask about where Dio had already gone?
No, they didn't.
Mm,
They
So
didn't
they didn't
conduct
really
any
ask
contact
about
tracing.
yeah,
transmission at all, because for
interesting.
the most part we don't know. The reality is
Oh, okay.
either I brought it home from work or one of us got it from a grocery store. There's only
Right.
2 grocery stores we've been to, but it
Still.
who knows. So
Right.
there's not really much
Hmm.
information there. As far as the
Mm-hmm,
testing actually went, I was surprised by how organized it was. Uh, it was like a drive-through sort of testing system,
right.
and so they told us over the phone exactly where to go. They gave
Mm-hmm,
us the information of what to expect to see, and
right.
as you could imagine, it was exactly like that when we went there. Everything was clearly
Mm-hmm,
marked. We drove up to a thing. I think it was like a garage where they normally would have had the ambulances or something.
right.
And so we would drive into there. They had like the nurses there set up and everything. Just roll down the window. They
Mm-hmm,
jam the swab down your throat, put it in the test tube or whatever, the sample tube that already had your name and information on it,
mm-hmm.
and you're good to
Your
go.
SIN number, your credit card.
Basically, all they asked was to check the health card and your ID just to make sure they got the right person.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is important.
Oh yeah.
It sounds like a pretty
Like they were on the ball.
painless and very quick. But I mean, it makes sense that they're like they also want you in and out for whatever
Hmm.
Exactly. They
reason.
don't want you there very long.
No.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you didn't get the up the nose swab.
Yes, I was
Yeah.
surprised about that too, and thankful about that.
Well.
I thought she was gonna get that brain tickling nose swab where they jam like the 8-inch swab down the
Hmm.
back of your nose until it's tickling your brain stem.
Thinking about it now,
I.
actually, I think I made a
Bleh.
mistake. I think I do know one other person that's gotten it. That's
Okay.
like firsthand, and I think they might have gotten the nasal swab. Uh, but this is definitely the most recent, and with things sort of on the path to recovery, at least temporarily.
It's just
It is
surprising
sort
because
of a
we're so
surprise.
far from the peak.
Yeah, but I mean that's one
But
of the things where you just don't know. And at the end of the day, we don't know if it's actually been COVID or not for you guys.
yeah,
It could be
we don't
anything.
actually know yet. It could have been
Yeah.
anything else
Yep.
that just happened to have the exact same
Yeah.
uh,
Symptoms.
symptoms.
Yeah.
It can happen.
Yeah.
It can. Oh, absolutely.
So it just, but I mean, if anything else, it's just a message for everyone else to still be cautious, wear a mask if you can. And when I say if you can, I mean obviously some people do actually have breathing difficulties, but for the
Mm.
most part, there's not really like, if you're walking down the street, I don't really care if you wear a mask so much. But if you're like in a grocery store, like every time I go grocery shopping, I wear a mask. I just don't care to take the chance. You know,
Same.
I don't need to disrupt my life essentially. So
Hmm.
Yeah.
yeah. Uh, but yeah. What else was I gonna say? Oh, is there anything that you are looking forward to opening in post quarantine world?
Whew.
I don't know.
It's not so much things opening as just doing things with people.
Potentially, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I did have one social event recently. It was a friend's birthday, and we did like a socially distant picnic where we were out in a field and
Oh.
apart, but like together but apart, and
Yeah.
we didn't hug or shake hands or do anything like that, no contact, but we just brought our own food and chilled with each other. It was nice to see people physically, you know.
Yeah, a friend of mine, very close friend, I hadn't seen her since probably right before
Yeah,
COVID lockdown started up. And she just came out yesterday, sat on like the furthest corner of the patio away,
right.
and we sat on the other side of the patio away,
Mhm,
and we
mhm,
like no hugging, but like we were able to just visit face to face without being necessarily right next to each other.
mhm.
It was, yeah, it's weird because you know which of your friends are very like, don't mind being up close, the very huggy friends, and then, the first time you see them after so long, and they're not doing it, and it's like, that this is right, that this is expected, but it
Right.
still feels weird because that's not how you know that person to be.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. Like it's nice that everyone is being cautious and well, most people being cautious. Some people either have always thrown caution to the wind, or just because they think that things are opening up, it's like okay to just let your guard down. Like I did see people walking really close by to each other, or sort of congregate near business entrances really closely together. Again, now all down on 17th, and I'm like, I don't know how I feel about it. Like, I just like everyone wants their summer. Everyone wants their, like everyone wants everything to open up again, but it's not going to
Everyone
happen.
wants to reclaim all the things that we're missing, right?
Exactly, but
Those
Hmm.
activities,
it's just not
that
going to happen
closeness.
if we don't do it
Yeah.
together, essentially.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm hoping for the best, but expecting the worst. Like I expect a second wave. I expect a third wave potentially. I expect like early 2021 to be potentially still like a problematic time.
Oh.
And I don't want it to
That's
be,
if
and no one wants it
yeah,
to be.
Oh.
But I'm not.
nobody
But I
does.
just, I don't really have a lot of faith necessarily in the public. I wish I could say that I did, but
Um, actually, I just realized I hadn't really seen a lot of news lately about developing vaccines. I know they've mentioned
hmm
that they've put some vaccine formula into human testing, but I
hmm
don't recall if there were any like concrete results from it or like expectations that were failed or met.
I remember reading about one where they
right,
started some very early human trials and weren't
Mm-hmm.
having any side effects so far.
right,
But beyond that, like current vaccine development is so early
yeah,
that the fact that they're trying it on people at all is
sort
ridiculous,
of a
and they're
miracle
just
because yeah,
trying to see if it well does it kill them yet. That's what they're testing right now. It's like
what do you want to
can
die from? You want to die from a
can we
vaccine, or do
safely
you want to
give this to
die from
people?
yeah? It's pretty mad, to be totally honest.
Yeah,
But like depending on a vaccine right now is like a. I'm not gonna say it's a pipe dream. I think that there is real potential there. We just have to be super patient and do what we can while we can. And I'm sure a lot of
exactly.
people are sort of tired of that message. And I'm not trying to preach to the choir. I'm just saying that everyone wants to be outside and socializing again. But we
I
have
think it's important to recognize that it's just really
right,
difficult to take away so many things from
right,
everyone. It's not just like we're taking this away from a group of people, it's everyone.
right.
No
Yep,
one should be allowed to do these things. So it's always going to be a difficult conversation and difficult to adhere to, especially when we've all had these things since
Yeah.
literally the entire time we've been alive.
oh yeah.
I think the other thing is that I want to point out that like I'm generalizing a lot. There's some really I don't want to say isolated, that's not the right word, but some places that have found success, even in Canada, about keeping out COVID, and I'm sure that they're sort of in a better place right now. Like I know that New Brunswick has basically had no new cases, or if they had, it's been very few. Nova Scotia is calming down. Nunavut had none of it, and I'm sure that in
Ha ha
general
ha.
that their social practices are a lot more lax, and that must be nice.
If
But we
anything,
have to get there.
the
We have to
surprising
get
one
there
has been
first.
BC.
BC's been doing very well
BC's been
as well.
doing phenomenally.
Yeah. I think they had less total infections than Calgary or than Alberta area,
I think you're right
but
about less
they
total
had more.
infections than
Yeah,
Calgary.
I think they had more deaths, but that's sort of like a death thing right now is like uh, it's difficult to judge the importance of that. Like, of course, it's important that whether people are being fatally affected, but obviously, like for example, if Dio had it for real, but she didn't get it, like not everyone gets the worst of it.
Well, that's the thing. I
So we're
have not
hoping, right?
the the worst that you could count for me is maybe like tiredness. I haven't felt
Right.
shortness of breath, and tiredness that can come from anything. That can come up from staying
That's
up
just
late the night
me
before.
and age. Yeah, for sure.
Do you feel tired? I mean,
When
I'm
don't I
almost
feel
when do
tired?
32.
there was at some
I'm
point
31 and a half. Of
after
course
starting
I'm tired.
I at some point when we'd all started working full-time jobs after school, someone just sort of blurted out, "I can't remember the last time I wasn't tired." And it just resoundingly agreed to by everyone who heard it because we were all like hanging out and having lunch.
I'm
And
not like
it just hit me.
I don't know how I feel about that statement, but that's because like generally it doesn't apply to me. Like I feel pretty good. Are there times where I'm tired? Yes, but there's always been times when I've been tired. Like, and usually the tired I'm talking about is like I just want to take a nap kind of tired.
Exactly. That's the thing. It's like,
Mhm.
well, twice today so far, I've leaned back in my chair and just have been like, you know what I could do right now? I could just close my eyes and start snoring.
Right.
That'd be
But
great.
I'm not like I don't know about you guys. I'm just saying that I'm generally not like fatigued. But that's also because I know what fatigue really feels like. Some people really don't, but you're just like a general sense of tired. It's like it's not that bad.
Yeah.
And it doesn't come around that much.
And I mean, 15 minutes after feeling like I was napping like that, I was like, fuck it. I'm going to go play Beat Saber for an hour.
Right. Like
And then
usually
I did.
usually when I feel tired, it's because there's a lack of like actual captivation by an activity. Like whether it's like I'm just not feeling this video game, or I don't really want to, or like this storyline for the show I'm watching isn't that great, and I'm like just not feeling it. That's usually what causes tiredness for me personally.
Mhm. Yeah, but also I feel like since we started staying in and not having like both Sean and I work from home, since we started doing that, I haven't had nearly as many emotionally draining things, like a really long commute, frustrating people on the road, frustrating people when I'm being a pedestrian.
Right.
Just like all the things that stand between you and getting to your
Huh?
job to start your day.
Or even like
Oh.
I don't want to be that guy, but even like saying things like seeing a coworker that you don't necessarily like, or that like that kind of thing, right? Like
Early March,
Exactly.
there's
the
a
And
whole
it's
traffic
range
was
of it.
so nice.
Oh,
yeah.
that reminds me. Do you guys know what the Cannonball Run is?
Yes.
No?
Okay, one of you does. Angela, do you want to take a
Uh,
stab at it if you say
So
you
the
know?
Cannonball Run has actually been used in multiple anime and manga franchises, including
Interesting.
Okay.
Let's see if
JoJo
you know
Part
the
8 Steel Ball Run and
Uh-huh.
Appare Ranman, and it is basically a cross country race from
Race is
California
not
to New
exactly the
York.
right
It's
word. It's
race
like a
isn't
time.
isn't
Yeah,
the right word,
it's
but
a
it's a
time.
time
It's a
trial.
trial. Yeah.
It's
From
effectively a
Huh.
race.
yeah, from New York, an
Is
area
it
in New
San
York, down
Francisco
to
or
an area down in California. I don't remember the exact cities.
Oh,
But
yes.
yes, like it goes
the
from
Cannonball Run? Realistically, if you have wanted to try it in the last 50, 60, 70 years, part of it is seeing if you can outrun or avoid the cops, taking back roads
yes,
to not get arrested. And
yep,
now that there's no traffic and that the cops don't want to pull you over, people have just been able to freaking speed across the
yes.
country. And I
So
think someone set a record at, what
Wow.
was it, like 19 hours?
in the
What?
last, I think in the last 2 months, the Cannonball Run has been broken 5 times.
Yeah,
That's
it went
insane.
from like 38 hours down to less than 20 or
Something
something.
like that. Like I don't have all. There's a
Wow.
Wikipedia page on it though. I read it like the other night. I think the record is. I don't think it's sub 20. I don't think it's physically possible to do sub 20.
Maybe
But
it's not. Maybe I'm
they
misremembering.
no, it's like sub 30. I think it's about like 26 or 27 hours is the current record.
Oh my
They
God.
averaged about 108 miles per hour, so that's about 230 kilometers an hour.
Oh my
Maybe
goodness.
a little bit more, probably closer to
No, it's
250.
108 miles per hour is not over 200 miles per hour.
No, 200
Wait, is it?
kilometers?
Actually, wait.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely it is.
60 miles is 100 kilometers.
Is
Holy
100,
Yeah,
shit.
so we're
yeah.
talking like 300 kilometers an hour.
No, that's like
Are we
220,
not?
No, not
250.
quite. It's like 250, 260.
Jesus.
Sure, but yeah, okay, yeah.
Yep.
So
Holy
it was
shit.
so they averaged that in an Audi sedan. Well, I say sedan, but I mean it wasn't an Audi. I think it was a Mercedes. But either way, like I think I had a turbo engine, and it wasn't necessarily tricked out, but it was like you can travel at pretty good speed.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
My math was totally off. 108 miles per hour is actually 174 kilometers
Really?
per hour.
I thought it was
Yep.
be about 230, but I'm sure they at one point like they must peak, but your average being still like
Considering my shitty little
as high as it
four-banger can
is.
do 150 no problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Any better car doing 174 no problem
Yeah,
is not that surprising.
but it's
But I
like
mean, that's average.
what was funny about
Yeah.
when I was reading about it
Like,
was
unless you're
that like
pissing in a bottle, you're going down to 0 for the 30 seconds it takes to
Yeah.
evacuate your bowels.
they're
Oh, dear
well, I mean,
Lord.
technically speaking, they're only like 27-hour drive is brutal, but not
Mhm.
undoable without like like I mean, I'm sure you could like prep. You could probably have like a catheter or an adult diaper and just sort of like fucking deal with
Jeez.
it.
You
Well,
do
it's just
not
sort of
piss
it's a
into a bottle at
no,
107 miles per hour.
no. Like yeah, but I'm saying a catheter or an adult diaper. For that
You
reason.
just pull over to the side of the road, take a leak
No,
while
no.
while
You lose
changing
time.
You
while
lose
changing,
time, you fool.
while changing drivers because you have
This
to
is
stop to change
why
drivers.
you don't
no
have a
matter what.
racing mentality, and I can see that now. but either way, what was funny about the reading about it was that they're trying to figure out the Cannonball Run community is trying to figure out
If they
whether
should allow them.
quarantine rules as like a form of almost like doping or like an unqualified run because like it's just the conditions were almost too ideal. But on the other hand,
Yeah.
I would just argue that they should be recognized in their own category and still
They should.
recognized in general because it's
Yes.
amazing. But it is true that it's like it's not really fair to anyone else who did
Holding
it
other
in,
people to the same standard as these
Yeah.
guys isn't fair.
No, because
But
like
Mhm.
in even in like
It
a month
should
from
be
now,
recognized
it'll never
as
be
like the
it'll
best
never
speed
be
under
replicated.
quarantine conditions.
So it was pretty cool.
Fair.
Oh, like
Fair.
even today, it can't be done because the United States is for the most part open back up.
No, like it depends on where you are and all that
It
kind of
depends
stuff.
on where
It's
you
not,
are, but a lot of
but
the,
but
a
yeah,
lot
like,
of the states between California and New York have
yeah,
opened up for better or worse.
yeah. The general consensus is that they'll never be able to replicate the times, so it's very difficult
Let's
to
hope they'll
log
never
it
be able to
normally.
replicate those times.
But that
Let's
was
hope.
Let's
Yeah.
hope indeed.
honestly, it's probably the coolest thing that I've read about this thus far regarding like a quarantine-related activity. You know.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of
True
quarantine-related activities, I guess you could watch anime during quarantine.
Can you?
Yes. What limited things are releasing
You know what's-
in this upcoming season?
So well, here's the thing. We always talk about how we want to do the previews, and one of the rules about the previews that I've set is that we don't talk about sequels. Unfortunately, because of
All we get
quarantine,
today.
that's
Hey everybody,
really
have
difficult.
you heard about the ReZero sequel?
God.
How about
There's so many.
how about the rom-com snafu sequel?
There's so
how about
many,
the Sword Art Online
but it's obviously
sequel?
because like
How
starting a
about
new
the Fire
project,
Force sequel?
starting a new
How about
project
the
is
How
difficult
Not
in
to
these
Pick
sense.
Up Girls in a Dungeon sequel?
God damn it, Angela. Anyways,
There's too
we
many
have like
sequels.
I found 5 shows. They're not sequels, so that's good enough, and that's what we're gonna go with.
I'm dying. There's so
They
many
actually seem
sequels.
okay. They actually seem okay.
The worst part is all
Shows.
these sequels are shows I loved, so like I'm not even mad about it.
Yeah, but these aren't sequels. These are original.
I know. These sound good too.
Yeah, but well, anyways, who wants to start us off?
I think Angelo does.
The God of High School by Mappa. Mappa is actually a really great animation studio. Just about everything they've put out is great. It's a feast for the eyes, and for the most part, pretty good too. It all
I was
began
hungry.
as a fighting tournament to seek out the best fighter among all high school students in Korea. Mori Jin, a taekwondo specialist, and a high school student, soon learns there's something much greater beneath this stage of the tournament.
The description didn't give us
Is there
very
a 20
much.
in there?
That's exceptionally vague.
Yes.
Yeah, that. But you know what's interesting about this? Just MMA in general.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying this because they mentioned Taekwondo. A lot of martial arts are kind of bullshit in that most martial arts are only practiced against themselves.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So things like Taekwondo, once you put them into an MMA sort of position, they just get the shit blown out of them because there's so many situations that they're not prepared for.
You sound like you don't watch a lot of MMA, and I can blow
No, good God, no, I
really
don't.
big.
I don't give a damn about MMA. I just watched a YouTube video about it.
But I mean,
while
that
in
observation
quarantine.
is it's flawed because yes, Taekwondo or a lot of solo practitioners of a certain discipline do only face off against one another, but you can't put them in an MMA situation because you're talking about MMA, which is the idea of streamlining so many different disciplines into one general attack and defense style, which it learns from many different schools and has many different skill sets, versus
when MMA started out, it was basically, hey, would someone who knows kung fu beat a ninja?
Yeah, but it's not what it is now.
Who's into grappling be able to beat a boxer? And then it eventually morphed into
and you still see that.
What if there were some sweaty guys just grabbing each other on the ground?
There's still fights like that. Anyways, the genre which you missed, they're action, adventure, and comedy, and supernatural. I don't know where the supernatural comes from. It makes me wonder if it's gonna be somewhat Dragon Ball-ish or somehow Prince of Tennis, where you have certain powers or abilities.
I mean, it's not supernatural unless there are superpowers involved.
Is it going to be an episode of
I want Main Boy to get Spirit Gun.
I don't know what that is.
From Yu Yu Hakusho.
I haven't seen that. Obviously.
Yeah, that's right. I think we talked about this last week. Neither of you guys have seen Yu Yu Hakusho.
No.
You guys should see it sometime.
Sorry.
It's really good.
I mean,
I would do a viewing of it.
It is a classic.
With Jay, if you wanted to.
Speaking of viewings, I'm actually starting up a Cowboy Bebop thing with a couple of friends.
Nice.
Because I haven't actually finished it, so we'll do it. But
what you should do is look up what episode the movie canonically happens between and watch it then.
Yeah,
because
if we watch it in that viewing order.
No, you don't have to watch the movie at all. But in the same way that most of Cowboy Bebop is just episodic stories, the movie is just an episodic story including the crew, and it's just so good.
All right, I'll keep it in mind.
You can watch it at the end if you want, but canonically speaking, there's no way for it to happen after all of the events.
Right.
So at that point, you would be watching the movie because you're sad about the ending, and you want to go back and have fun times with the crew of the Bebop.
Mm-hmm. Going back to God of High School.
Or you can watch it in the middle of it and see what happens.
Going back to God of High School, I probably wouldn't watch it myself. I think the fighting part would be fun, interesting, but I don't know if there's enough substance there. I don't know. I feel like it's unless it gets Trigger or Gainax treatment levels of action. You know what I mean?
Mappa has done those sort of action sequences in the past. Mappa is fully capable of pulling off an amazing anime.
In that case, if I hear that it's good, maybe I'll try it. But I don't know if right off the bat I would. I don't know.
More to consider.
I have nothing against
Mappa.
Studio, I just have expectations sort of in my head.
But the studio is worth saying. Yeah. Mappa's done fantastic work.
What would you do, Nancy?
I'm easily swayed by amazing visuals, so I would at least watch the first bit of it and see if I like the story.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, maybe I would just enjoy it purely for the visuals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. Well, that's two against one. Maybe it'll be great. I'll have to rely on other people telling me that it's
It
okay
sounds like
before
a
I consider
shonen
it.
battle anime.
It does.
It does, very much
And there's
so.
nothing
Like,
wrong
that's the
with it.
premise that it set
There's
itself
nothing
up
wrong
for.
with that.
Shonen battle
No.
anime are like the greasy, salty snack that you just love to eat now and then.
It's not bad.
It's like, wow, this doesn't even
Uh,
taste good, but it makes me happy.
And I always say this,
Mm.
but I already have One Piece for something like that, so it's not
True.
as something I
Very
much I need.
true.
Our next show up is Decadence. Do you want this, Nancy?
Haven't decided yet. I mean, I don't even know what the summary is.
Oh.
I'll do it then.
I think when he asked you what it was, do you want to read it? But
Yeah,
not
I
do you
know.
want to
I
watch
know.
it.
I was just
I'll do it.
being a jerk.
In that
How
case,
dare.
Nancy gets to read the one after this.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
good.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Wonderful. So the next one is Decadence. It's produced by Studio Nut.
Nut.
I've never heard of Nut, actually.
Neither have I.
Yeah,
Neither have I.
I've
Maybe they're
heard
brand new on the
nothing
block.
about them.
terrible.
Ugh,
What if you're allergic?
terrible.
It's a sci-fi and
Also
action
terrible.
series. Many years have passed since humanity was driven to the brink of extinction by the sudden emergence of the unknown life form, Gadol. These humans that survived now dwell in a 3,000 meter, that's 3 kilometers, high mobile fortress, Decadence, built to protect themselves from the Gadol threat. Denizens of Decadence fall into two categories. Gears, who are warriors, fighting the Gadol daily, and tankers, those without the skills to fight. One day, Natsume, a tanker girl who dreams of becoming a gear, meets Surly Kaburagi, an armor repairman of Decadence. This chance meeting between the seemingly two opposites, the girl with a positive attitude who never gives up on her dreams, and the realist who has given up on his, will eventually shake the future course of this world.
Okay.
So
It sounds okay.
Okay.
I watched the trailer
So-
for this,
Uh-huh.
and the
Oh?
art style looks amazing.
I was gonna
Okay.
say
The background art and the character designs look gorgeous.
Okay. Two things.
hmm
Aside from the visuals, Gears just reminds me of
Gears of
flat
War?
out Gears of War.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've never played
My
Gears of War,
favorite
so I don't know.
bro, Marcus.
I don't know anything about Gears of War actually, other than it's very
You
violent
know-
and very chonky, big chonky boys.
Big
Huge,
chungos.
chonky men.
Yeah.
Very, very buff men. I am not usually into warfare sims or like overly masculine storytelling tropes,
Uh-huh,
and even I
uh-huh.
enjoyed the series. 1 to 3 were awesome. The weird sequel that came after it, not so good. I'd play it again.
Anyway,
But anyway, back to
aside from
back to the
that,
topic.
Yeah.
Second thing, this really sets up that annoyingly persistent trope where it's like the idealist mashed up with the jaded one, and the idealist makes the jaded one see hope in the world again.
Yeah, pretty much.
think that it
I'm all over
might
that
be a
trope, though.
good watch, honestly. Especially if it's actually quality, it might be like, a defining entry into that genre, which is not a bad thing ever. I just wonder, I don't know anything. I've never heard of Studio Nut.
So
The trope is there, but I mean, maybe it'll be really good.
Also,
this anime reminds me, just judging off of the summary, of two other anime that exist. One is a way older anime. I think the title was Blue Gender,
Never heard of it.
where
no,
basically,
I don't think I ever saw that.
giant bugs drove humanity to extinction on the planet, and humanity had to escape into a spaceship
Mm-hmm. As
to
one does.
survive. And to try to retake the planet, humanity and their spaceship developed a bunch of mechs to go fight the giant bugs and take back the planet.
Mm-hmm.
I hated that anime. Like, it looked fine. Like,
Did you
it was a
finish it?
90s anime or something. I did finish it.
Uh-huh.
I watched the whole thing. To be fair, like, I gave it a proper shake. I just didn't like it.
Okay.
Okay, that's fair.
And, like, it was well done. I just... bleh. Bleh.
What was the other show?
The other anime that it reminds me of is, I think it was Muv-Luv Alternative.
Nope.
Both of these titles sound like hentai. And I mean, pretty close, but they're not.
I was just gonna say that.
Decadence does not sound like a hentai,
so-
however.
Muv-Luv,
Yes, it
on the
does.
other
No.
hand, it wasn't, it was space aliens who drove humanity close to, extinction. And again, it was mechs. Like, they had mechs to kind of
course.
solve the problem, because
Yeah.
giant robots they solve every problem.
I mean, this sort of implies there might be mechs.
Maybe.
One thing I
But
realized
it
that I should
doesn't
be
say anything
doing.
about
No.
mechs. And I didn't see any mechs in the
Art
in the
in the
trailer.
trailer.
So I
Like,
want
I
to
think
see
there's-
how they
there's
solve this
augmentation.
problem without mechs.
I think
Because
there's
giant
augmentation.
robots are always the easy solution.
There's like equipment, but I wouldn't necessarily call it like it's augmentation and equipment, but I don't think there's necessarily mechs.
Yeah.
One thing I realized that I never put into these sort of synopses for the previews, and I feel bad about it now, is I wish I knew how many episodes each show was.
Oh, let's see.
That would have really changed sort of how you approach it. I don't see I
That's
don't
true.
see an episode count for
Yeah, I don't see an
Decadence.
episode count in any chart. So,
no.
oh well.
That's
Who
unfortunate.
cares?
So, to be fair, this Decadence sounds like it hits two things that I really enjoy: sci-fi and action.
Uh-huh.
But I also just really want to satisfy one curiosity. We're talking about, to reiterate, a 3-kilometer high mobile fortress.
Oh,
This is
yes.
not a fortress that floats in the sky. This is
It's
a
on the ground.
mobile fortress attached to the ground,
Yeah.
and it's mobile.
Yeah.
Wait, did
How
they say it's
heavy do
mobile?
you think? Yes.
You're right.
So,
Wow.
how heavy do you think a 3-kilometer high fortress is that they can transport it?
About 3,
Yeah, about 350 actually.
maybe 4.
Yeah, tree fitty?
Let's
Yeah.
go 350.
You rounded up to 4.
350.
Well, that's the thing. If you want to talk
That's
about the
my
mech,
one
if you want to talk
curiosity.
about like the mech angle, there's huge potential for the mech angle because you've already got a giant mobile fortress.
The mobile fortress.
That's kind of
is
what
the
I was
mech.
getting at.
But
yeah.
I would say, however, to get away from that idea, I'm looking at the art that we have for it. It's very limited in scope. It reminds me of Attack on Titan gear.
It does.
Yeah, does.
Like from
So
the
it's sort of like there's a real conflict in the technology level from the very limited amount that I'm
Are
seeing.
we going to get awesome cosplay props out of this?
No,
Possibly.
it looks sort of dopey. It looks like
Dopey?
Well, dopey's not the right word, but it doesn't.
Dopey.
It does not look cool. It looks like they're wearing a gourd, like a big ball, iron ball on their back, and then
It
there's
looks like
a
industrial
little glove.
PPE.
Yeah, and then there's like a sword attached to it. Maybe it becomes a flaming sword, like it's a flamethrower sword or something. That'd be cool. But anyway, it's not necessarily. It's cosplayable. It just doesn't look that amazing. It just,
Yeah, it doesn't.
but that again, that's what I'm saying. There's a real dissonance in the level of technology from what I'm seeing. I'm seeing part of the mobile fortress, undoubtedly, which looks amazing, and then I'm seeing like a metal ball backpack. Which does not look amazing, but who knows?
Kind
I
of
would-
reminds me
I'd give it a
of-
try though. I'd watch.
All right. I mean, I would still give it the 3 episodes to see how it goes. Maybe 4.
Yeah.
Sci-fi and action are fun. It's kind of hard to go wrong with those two.
Yeah.
So that's a 3 for 3.
I think that's a
Sure.
3 for 3.
Okay.
Like this one looks really cool.
The next.
But you know,
Yeah.
you know what else is really cool?
Hmm.
Watching some ecchi.
Excuse me. It also has comedy and fantasy elements. Those are
Indeed.
amazing on its own. and you
Oh, I
can't
read
just
the
discount-
synopsis
We will-
for this one, and it seems like such
we
a
will
train
get
wreck.
into-
I'm going to watch it.
Oh my goodness. Okay, we'll get into this, but the next one is called Peter Grill to Kenja no Jikan by Wolfsbane, whom I don't know if I'm super familiar with their
I've
work.
never heard of them before. They're probably
I've-
some garbage studio.
Before that, though, Angelo's like, I'm gonna watch it.
Oh, I'm gonna watch it.
I've heard
I'm
of
watching this.
I've heard of Wolfsbane. I'll look up what else they've made. I know that we've
Okay.
done.
While you do that, I will finish reading the synopsis. So this was a comedy, an ecchi, and fantasy. The story centers on the titular protagonist, the adventurer Peter Grill, the strongest man in the world. While he has a girlfriend named Lavilia, who he swore to spend the rest of his life with, Lavilia still believes that babies are delivered by storks, and in the 2 years since their relationship began, Peter and Lavilia have not progressed beyond holding hands. In the meantime, various other women, such as 2 ogre twins and an elf, all want him so that they can bear strong children. Peter has to avoid all manner of temptation and plots, all while feeling guilty towards Lavilia. Okay.
So I
Yeah.
actually just looked it up. This is the first anime Wolfsbane worked on.
I thought so.
Okay.
Yeah, my bad. But it feels like I've seen that somewhere before or something. Maybe someone just has a really similar studio name, and I'm getting mixed up. with
So
something.
going back to like last episode or 2 episodes ago where we
Uh-huh.
literally complained about someone being idiotically naive about relationships.
Yes.
This falls into it
Oh,
because
yeah.
she thinks that babies come from storks.
I mean,
And it's obviously going to be a harem because, you know,
it's gonna be the kind of show as well where the romance does not progress for a while.
it is fantasy, so it probably takes place
There's
in your standard,
this
like
a
it
light
looks
novel
like from the
adaptation?
art.
there's some isekai vibes
Yeah,
to
some
the art.
isekai fantasy elements here.
Yeah, I see like a demon girl, 2 demon girls, maybe a mage-looking dude,
Those are probably the ogre twins, actually,
someone
now
with
that I think
someone
about
with
it.
a great axe.
The
Someone
English
who looks
title
very
is Peter
paladinish.
Grill and the Philosopher's Time.
Uh-huh.
What?
Could this sound more generic? I don't even.
Harry
What?
Potter.
Harry Potter.
J.K.
but
Rowling,
Here's
I
the
with
thing. I was
ecchi?
hearing Peter Grill, and I was thinking, oh, this is probably from some light novel where they were just ripping off Star-Lord from Guardians of the Galaxy.
I was
Peter
thinking
Quill.
that too.
And I was
Yeah.
like, what are we getting ourselves into?
Let's call it Peter Quill and the Philosopher's
Peter Quill.
Stone.
Oh my god.
the Philosopher's Infinity
anyway,
Stone.
Yeah.
This has set me up with very low expectations because it already pulls on a trope that we're all kind of tired of. It's gonna be
It's-
an ecchi, so
it's
gonna
in a
be
genre.
kinda sort of
Gives us
sexy,
lewd
but
Oni
not.
girls, so I'm all for it.
But like, how lewd can it be before you cross the line of ecchi straight into hentai?
I mean, they're already
'Cause,
talking
like,
about hand holding.
Yeah.
Yeah, hand holding.
Dirty.
Pretty degenerate right there.
Dirty. Dirty. Just the worst.
My kind of degeneracy. I don't know if this, like, it's got to be spectacularly beautiful for me to want to watch.
The only
it.
reason I would watch it is if
I
it
can
was
guarantee
just
you it's not going to look
wholesome.
amazing.
If it was wholesome and cute, I might watch it. But if it's
Sure.
not wholesome and cute and it really like it says ecchi already, which I already
Yep.
assume it's not going to be wholesome and cute, I really don't care. Like there's 1,000 different animes like you, and I've watched
Like-
enough of
like
you in
you
my
could.
time.
Before we start watching this, we could literally turn this into a drinking game. Like, there's going to be a square on the bingo card for every time he,
Oh.
like, face plants into someone
Oh,
else's
no.
boobs.
Ugh.
Okay, watch the trailer from Any Charts,
Uh huh.
and
Okay.
don't watch it
Okay.
while your parents are in the room.
Oh, it's that bad.
It's
huh?
that wholesome.
It looks.
It's
it actually
wholesome because
looks
my parents
like
have
it's
had the
decently
sex.
animated, so I'm going to give Wolfsbane a tentative thumbs up, because at least the trailer
Huh.
looks good.
So in other words, you're gonna watch it.
Oh, I already
But
said
is
I'm
the
going to watch
trailer
it.
where they spent
Just to
their
be sure.
budget?
Just to
They
be
might have
sure.
spent all their budget in the trailer. Who knows?
Uh-huh.
That's not unheard of.
Okay, well, I'll be looking forward to your 3-episode review, or you'll be doing like a viewing or something
hell-
on over Discord.
Oh, I'm going to watch it. Yeah.
Somebody has
Okay.
to.
Someone has to give us a fairly biased review of what they believe in.
Oh, extremely biased.
Well, that's
All right.
That's
Who,
one
who wants
versus
to grab
two.
the next one?
This
I'll
is more up
I'll do it.
Jay's alley.
I'll do it because I think I would watch the show.
Kate.
Ochikobore Fruit Tart by Studio Feel. It's music and also a slice of life.
Ooh.
The fourth dormitory of the Rat production, commonly known as Nezumi So, the place where dropout idol girls live. The former child actor Sakina Roko, musician Nikui Hayu, and model Maihara Nina. Sakura Ino, who always dreamed of becoming an idol, moves in. At the same time, the decision is made to demolish the dormitory.
Oh, okay.
This is right up my alley. I love stories like this. Like Jellyfish Princess. Or Princess Jellyfish? I think it's the other way around.
Princess Jellyfish Kurage.
Yeah.
Kurage Hime?
Yeah. Due to the project launched by the manager Kajuno Hoho, Ochikobore Fruit Tart, occupants of the dormitory, form a new idol group called Fruit Tart and start their activities in order to repay a 100 million yen debt.
100
That was a-
million yen.
That was a tough read.
So,
Da-da-da.
100 million yen is about
Da-da-da.
$1 million USD-ish?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. That was a rough read, and now you know what my life is like when I have to be behind a microphone with a shitty script.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So just to, I like, because of how poorly it was written, I just want to like summarize the synopsis. There's 3 girls, they're all dropout idols, and there's a new one who's moving in, Sakura Ino, and then at the same time of her moving in, this guy decides to destroy the dormitory in which they all live, and in order to save the dormitory, they are now going to perform their way. They're gonna...
To the top.
Yes. Amazing.
So do you think this will be an actual music show? Like, every other episode there's like a new song and it's catchy
I would
and it's...
want it to be.
You'll be lucky if there's as much music as K-On! And there wasn't that much music in
Really?
K-On!
There was a fair amount of music
Wow.
in K-On! It wasn't that bad.
It
wasn't that far off.
I think the last time I watched a music, like an idol song type anime was probably Full Moon wo Sagashite, and that was like quite a while ago. It's quite old by today's standards.
I'm not into...
But dang.
Yeah. I'm not into
Honestly,
idol
I'm
music.
I'm
problem.
biased against idol shows. The last time I got tricked into watching an idol show was Zombieland Saga, and that was great.
Huh.
But I mean, there's barely any music. There's like 2 songs over the whole 12 episodes there.
But that's what I liked about Full Moon. It
Yeah.
was actually about becoming an idol, and it had good music in it. Like idol performed songs, and they were pretty good, catchy songs.
For me, like, I just want it to be wholesome more than anything, and I feel like it would be wholesome. It feels like, to me, it's a mix of Princess Jellyfish and K-On! Or something like that, which would be fun. I wouldn't hate it. I just don't love the genre of music that they're alluding to and how much music's even going to be in that. So I would probably watch. I would give it a 3-episode treatment, but I would give it very tentatively.
Okay, so there's an actual music filled show, and then I guess on the flip side of that, there's shows about being an idol, but there's not a lot of actual music on the show. Like when I watched Bunny Girl Senpai, it was literally about a model and a pop idol, and there's no performing really shown.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
No.
there's no, they mention that they were at dance practice, or they show a scene where they're taking a break at dance practice, but there's no animated dance numbers, and there's no musical performances being animated to the audience.
Right.
But it was still about being a pop idol.
Yes.
So on those two, there's a really far scale in the middle for something to happen.
It'll probably be pretty cute and
Yeah.
fun.
I mean, I'm kind of in the mood for something wholesome, so I would give this a shot.
Angelo doesn't sound like he's impressed at all.
I don't know. I just don't watch
He's
idol
very
anime.
biased against idol shows
I am.
to begin with.
I really am. Like,
I mean, I
I
know
just
I
don't
don't
like the
care
whole
about idol
idol
shows.
music genre bullshit. And honestly, music slice of life anime often just don't hit the mark for me. The last time I really enjoyed one was probably Beck Mongolian Chop Squad, and how long ago was that?
Oh, Beck!
But that's a music. That's an
loved
actual
Beck.
music anime. That's
Yes.
that's
It is.
that's really far off from
That's the whole
sort of
point.
what we're talking about.
And
It was a music
like,
anime
it
with
had
plot.
some slice of life moments in it too.
Sort of, but only really early on.
Like, it was music drama slice of life.
Yeah.
You don't get that a lot. Like Beck, in my opinion, is one of a kind in its genre. Generally
Very much
speaking.
so.
I actually didn't watch Carol and Tuesday yet, but I got
Oh
Becky
shit!
vibes
That's
from
the
Carol
show
and
I need to
Tuesday.
haven't
watch.
watched it.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
need to
yeah,
get
I
it.
guess I kind of forgot about that. But like that one also had a lot of music in it. Yes, that one.
Yeah.
Let's just pretend I didn't completely forget about having watched that like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
The problem with Carol and Tuesday is that it was on Netflix, so nobody ever checks
I-
the Netflix anime section.
Right.
I like their originals. They've been good.
Mm-hmm.
Castlevania was good. Violet Evergarden was good. Carol and Tuesday was good. Like they haven't really disappointed me terribly.
Yeah, they're just they're above average.
Should I
so
or
there's nothing wrong with
Nancy
it.
read this next one?
It's your turn.
Depends.
It's my turn.
Yeah, it's your turn. Go
Okay.
for it.
Okay. Ikebukuro Westgate Park. From Doga Kobo. Drama, mystery, romance. Based on a series of urban mystery novels, the story revolves around 20-year-old Makoto, who frequently gets involved in highly dangerous situations, unusually against his own judgment. Usually
Usually.
against his own judgment. Along for the ride are his best buddies, Shun, Masa, and Takashi, the enigmatic leader of a local gang in Ikebukuro.
So
So these are urban mystery novels?
So this kind of makes
Yeah.
me sound this kind of sounds like it's a group of guys who are just hanging around Ikebukuro, where the protagonists of do da 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 are just fucking shit up.
a little bit.
Except that's not at all what it's going to be, since it's not from the same anything. But I mean, I can't think of
It's-
Ikebukuro and not think of do da 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 da.
It's extremely vague.
It's a little bit vague, but I would watch this kind of show on its general premise.
I'll give it a shot.
That's sort of like the urban mystery idea. I've always really liked.
Yeah.
Like I don't want it to necessarily be horror. I don't necessarily want it to be supernatural. I just want it to be like it's that general sense of unease, which I think is always kind of interesting in terms of a mystery that it could provide. The one thing.
So
Sorry, I just want to finish off something. The one thing that
No, go
that's
ahead.
always really interesting to me is like, I was in Japan like as of last year, and I haven't watched a lot of shows since I came back, but I have started to watch a few things again, but not mostly in fictional settings, not set in Japan settings. And seeing a picture of Ikebukuro as like realized in anime and like all their different settings and stuff is like really resonates with me now, because it's kind of like I know that place. I've literally been there. I've been to that gate. I've been to these culverts in Kyoto. I've been to these areas in Akiba and stuff like that. And seeing them realized, I think, really lends a certain different level of interest to any given show that I'm gonna watch now that's set in Japan.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I agree with that experience. Totally.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say I'm really curious where this romance genre
where's the
comes
romance
in. This
come in?
doesn't sound anything like it would be a good playground for romance to spark, but evidently it has been listed as a romance category. So
Maybe it's the mystery
that
of
mean?
romance.
maybe I don't
Maybe
know.
it's boy love. Who knows? All
Ooh,
the names are
okay.
boys so far.
Shun Masa Takashi. Yeah, those are
Okay.
boys' names.
Maybe that's part of the
Masa.
mystery.
Masa, I love you just like I love a good corn tortilla, which is also masa.
I was thinking about that.
Oh,
Actually, it's not a corn
my.
tortilla. It's actually corn
Well,
flour.
it's the corn flour.
Yeah.
The masa is what you make the corn tortilla out of.
Yeah. So maybe they visit like I think there's a Denny's in Ikebukuro if I remember correctly. It's on the way to Sunshine City, so you can
Masa,
totally.
you and I will
Maybe
go
they
to
have
Denny's
masa.
and we'll have corn tortillas
Yeah.
with breakfast food on it.
I generally like these kind of genres. I don't necessarily know if it'll be good, but I'm hoping for like a 13 episode sort of treatment and very episodic. I don't necessarily need like an overarching plot.
Epic.
I have no expectations. Like this
Yeah.
and Peter Grill, I have no expectations for.
Uh-huh.
Whereas the other two, I'm like, okay, these should be good.
Mm-hmm.
But would you still want to give it a 3-episode try?
I give it a 1-episode try.
Alright, that's fair. I'd give it a 1-episode too.
I don't know who
used to be
Doga
all
Kobo
about
is.
the 3-episode try, and I just don't have the energy for that anymore.
Unfortunately, a lot of good shows take like 5 or 6 these days to really get
Oh, I
going,
know.
you
There have been shows in the past that I absolutely love that if
Mhm.
I did
Mhm.
not give them the 3-episode try, I never would have fallen in love with them. And there's one
So
in particular,
what-
like Shiki, that you
Mhm.
literally have to get through like 8 episodes before shit actually starts moving.
Okay, so I have a question for you on that then.
Okay.
What drove you past the 3-episode rule for those things, those series?
There's just been, in the last couple years, there have been a lot of anime that I just, right out the gate, I did not like. To the point where it's like, there's other anime for me to try and I don't have that much time. So I just, one episode didn't hook me, I'm gone. Have a good
Mhm.
one. Get
Mhm.
fucked. And it's just, that's how it is. For people who have all the
Wow.
time in the world and just want to watch anime, go for it. Like, do the 3 episodes. You'll find great things out there.
I mean, I
Like
have
if Shiki, that old vampire anime came
Yeah.
out this year, people on A would be talking about it by now, being like, "Wait a minute, shit's really getting going." And I'm like, it's over halfway into the first cour. That taking that long to really get started means it's a shitty anime. Like, I love this anime. I cannot recommend it to anyone without telling them, yeah, it's fucking boring for the first 8 episodes.
No, the words you're supposed to use are it's cerebral.
It's a slow burn.
Smirk. I'm always willing to give
It's a
shorter
slow
shows more of a try than longer shows. Anything like if you tell me that your season's going to be 24 episodes, like that's the 3-episode treatment maybe, but
Like,
like
there's certain shows
I'd
that
have
need
to
it.
really like it.
Like
but then-
Madoka, you can get into it after 1 episode,
Right.
but you have to stick with it to episode 3.
Right. Whereas, like, if you give me the standard 13 type season, I expect that your first episode is gonna be not like mind blowing, just enough to keep me on board. You know?
One thing that some anime have started doing more and more frequently, that I'm actually on board for, is if they don't have enough time to hook you in the
Mhm.
first 20 minutes. What some of them have started doing is they'll release the first 2 episodes as like
Mhm.
one 40-minute episode. And that gives them enough time to properly pace things and hook you.
I'd be okay
And I'm
with
all
that.
for that. Like,
I'd be okay.
that's
My problem
great.
is that I don't mind slower burn storytelling, but it has to be engaging enough for me to actually get invested without it just being actually just straight boring.
That's the thing. It's like I'm using Shiki as an example because it is a good anime that legitimately takes so long to start moving. Like, you go into it knowing, oh, this is a vampire anime. Every episode they just like drip feed you 30-40 seconds of vampire bullshit. You know what's happening. It's like the first 2 minutes of like a zombie movie where you
Mhm.
see like all the news stories of things happening and showing that is the first 8 episodes of Shiki.
I'm
That's
also
the thing that movies compress down to like a 30 or 40 second thing.
Sort of on an aside, I also have not heard of Dogakobo as a studio before.
Me
Neither have I.
neither.
They might be new as well.
So no, they're not that new. They've been around since 2007.
Oh
So that's
shit.
Wow.
13 years.
Damn.
They
Well, what have they worked on then?
they I haven't seen anything amazing that pops up at me, unfortunately, but they do specialize in 13 episode, like everything that they've made except for one
Specializing
anime.
in 13 episode ain't shit, man.
They
Just-
they
just
they literally
saying.
they make almost everything aside from 2 shows since 2007 have been of the 13 episodes or less persuasion, which is interesting.
Interesting.
They made,
That is interesting.
I guess, Token Ranbu is sort of big. Like that's a title that I actually
Oh, they made
recognize.
Senko-san.
Helpful Fox
A
Senko-san.
lot of people liked Senko-san.
How
Oh,
heavy-
Dumbbell 9 Kilo Moten. Wait a minute, these are good.
Wait, is this the one that I think it is? It's the workout anime.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did the workout
they
anime.
made New Game as well. I loved New Game.
And okay.
Okay.
All right.
I'm here for it. I'm
I-
here for it.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gaining faith.
Yeah.
I'm watching our opinions sway back and forth, and it's very
How heavy
interesting to
heavy
me.
are the dumbbells you lift is a hilarious show, and actually
Oh, but they
Fairly
also
nice.
made Himoto Umaro-chan, and I can never forgive them for that.
Oh, dear.
Oh, but they also
Oh,
made
dear.
Plastic Memories. That was so good. I forgive them for Himoto-chan. What the fuck? Oh god.
This has been
Wait a
a
minute,
roller
I-
coaster.
But are you on the
Roller
Wikipedia
coaster,
page?
guys.
Just curious.
Oh, they also made Nozaki-kun. Gekkan
Are
Shoujo
you on the
Nozaki-kun.
Wikipedia page?
I pulled up their AniList page.
Okay. But yeah,
Okay,
they have
no,
they have
they've
some
made-
really
Sounds
good
like-
stuff.
They've made a lot of fantastic anime, actually. They've made
sounds
a
like
lot of
Angela's
things that
in.
aren't up my alley as well. They've
They're
made things that I've actively hated.
they're formed by former Toei Animation members.
Oh, interesting.
So, like, all I can say is they're capable of
Give it a
making
try.
great things.
Hmm.
But they're also capable of making not great things.
It's an old studio. It's
Wait a
established
minute.
since
They worked
1973.
on Pokemon the movie 2000.
Yeah, so they've been around since 1973, but in terms of like their own productions as
moly.
opposed to assisting, they've only made so much since 2013. It just looks
Yeah.
like, but their credits include like stuff since 1973, such as Pokemon 2000.
Interesting.
So
Yeah.
it is interesting.
Interesting.
But
But
yeah, I'm looking through it. They've actually made some great stuff
Mhm.
and some not so great stuff. So, you
We'll
know
be
what?
all right. That's okay. Every studio.
I
has
know
that.
they're capable. I'm
Yes.
gonna give it a try.
Okay.
It's a good genre, generally
Yeah.
speaking.
Yeah, I'm here
Well,
for
I
it.
guess we'll be setting up our 3-episode viewings pretty soon.
I don't
then.
think you need to do 3 episodes for this. I think this is a one. Again, knowing that they mostly specialize in 13
One or two.
episode.
Like
Yeah, one or two.
it sounds like it's going to be more of an episodic thing.
Yes.
If they can't hook me after 1 or 2 episodes, like tapping out, boys.
But I mean, that's the
Mm.
general, anyways.
I feel like
Mhm.
Peter Grill after watching the trailer for it.
Yeah.
Again, if they can't hook me in with 1 episode,
Uh huh. If it-
especially after that trailer,
Right.
I will be very surprised.
If the ogre girls don't show up in the first episode, it's over.
Let me just say that trailer makes me think that this is going to get pulled off the air, just like fucking interspecies reviewer was.
Interspecies reviewers.
Interesting.
Ooh.
All right.
I mean, the genre clearly listed ecchi, not hentai.
Yes,
Yeah. Well.
So I don't know.
there were
it
some
depends
very
on how
suggestive
accurate
shots
they
in the
were.
trailer.
Right.
Hmm.
All right.
Well, I guess we'll be setting up our viewing schedule
mhm.
soon.
That's all the. Well, that's not all of that. I mean, that's the majority of the original anime that's coming out this summer. So I hope everyone has something to
Five different
find.
sequels. What the hell?
There's so no five sequels that you saw. There's a shitload
I
more
saw.
of them. Yeah, it's a sequel heavy season. It's going to be a sequel heavy summer because of COVID. That a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
of things were already in
Mhm.
production, and they're not going to be picking up as many unknowns. It just makes
Yep.
sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But in the meantime, this was our summer preview for
This is
2020.
a long one.
Yes, it was. And thank you for listening. Our once again, our our season ending episode will be next week. So look forward to that. I guess I'll be talking about how well my foot peeling has gone.
Ooh, I'm
I'm
here
so
for it.
excited for
The major
that.
reveal. Should I take
Literally.
pictures? Should I send them to you guys?
Yes.
Oh,
Oh
God.
yeah, hell
Take
yeah, man.
progress
Feet
pictures.
pics.
Jesus.
Post the feet pics with like peeling skin to Twitter
Uh-huh.
and like tag
Oh
it with
my
Overwatch or
God.
something. Who knows?
Okay. All right then. No one has ever
Oh.
wanted to see my feet more.
Yep.
I'm sure.
You're gonna get such a fan following.
I
It's
don't
gonna be
want it. I
awkward.
don't want it. I do a lot of
Oh,
things.
but it'll
I do a lot of
happen.
things that garner attention. I don't want the attention. I just want to do things. That's not my fault. Anyways,
Uh-huh.
thank you again for listening.
I'm Jay Wong, signing out.
I'm-
I'm going to the dinner store.
I'm Angelo, and I have a voice, and I like the big anime titty.
Yes. Yes, he
These are
does.
both really accurate impressions. And I'm Nancy. Thanks for joining
Nancy
us.
sounds the best. It sounds just like her.
Wow, that just sounds like her. Wow.
All right. Take care, everybody.
Have a good one.
Stay safe.
Bye.